friend, are you living your fullest life possible? Or do you need some inspiration and some encouragement to get everything that life has to offer? Stick around for more. I'm Ashley White, the host of Joy on the Journey podcast, a weekly podcast all about defining, finding, and maintaining joy on the journey of life. This week, I have a very, very special guest, my dear friend and soror, Nell Reed. Nell is a marketing, public relations, and communication professional that leverages creativity and analytic thinking to create and innovate actionable business strategies. With a decade of experience in industries such as healthcare and nonprofits, she has a proven track record of cultivating awareness for brands, contributing to revenue generating goals for businesses. Personally, Nell has also a proven track record of taking an ordinary situation and making it extraordinary. She's incredibly kind, consistent, thoughtful, and the definition of sisterly. She is literally the life of every occasion and lives life to the fullest. So, Nell, thank you so much for
Thank you so
joining the
much.
podcast.
Thank you, Ashley.
We start every single podcast by asking guests to give their definition of joy.
Well, before I give my definition, I have to say thank you for that warm welcome and bio. I'm probably going to have to steal that from you because you made me sound so smart and nice.
And honest.
Yeah. My definition of joy is really just about this deep feeling that you have inside of you, and it's almost like baking a cake or baking a cookie. And you have to do all the things on the front end in order to get this particular dessert to taste right, and then when it comes out, that's what joy is. So joy is really about this cultivation of making sure you have the right ingredients, because it in real life you always have to have these right circumstances, and then being able to rest on it for a while, much like in real life. You kind of have to wait and be patient, and then the outcome is the joy.
The outcome is the joy. So, have you had situations where you thought you were baking up a good joy cake and joy wasn't the result?
Oh yeah, all the time. It always happens. But I think for me personally, as I go through the scenario, or making it similar to the baking process, I just always prepare for situations. I always prepare that something in my day isn't going to go well. I also have two children, and I don't really have control over my life like I used to. So something's going to interrupt me at some point of the day. And I'm okay with that. Like, I've come to terms with that part of the journey, and you just keep going. I'm not going to necessarily stop just because, or I'm not going to stop any type of joy that I may try to have for the day just because one thing may have gone wrong. I'm going to just try to keep going and keep persevering through that.
So, as a mother, how has joy been redefined? And you have little ones.
Yeah, I have little babies. So it's really cool because, yeah, right, you do have these small kids, but you get to literally create joy for somebody else, and you get to see the product of that. And for little kids, it's different because it's their first time, right? So, for example, my kids have never been to a bowling alley, right? But if I take Ashley to a bowling alley, Ashley's gonna be like, "Oh, okay, put the ball." I've done this so many times before. But like, when you get to do these things with little kids, you're helping them to experience these little joyful moments for the first time. And I mean, it could be something as simple as taking your kids out for the first time to see snow, and like what that looks like, when they try to eat it or when they try to smell it. Like, all these opportunities that you're able to just fester joy or create joyful moments. And that always makes me so happy. So on the weekends, typically like a Saturday or Sunday, I always try to take my older daughter, because she's at that age now where I can take her on little dates and stuff. And every weekend we just do something that purposefully is centered around her joy, is centered around putting a smile on her face, and just kind of giving her experiences that'll last her, for a lifetime.
That's intentional.
Oh, very, very intentional. Hmm.
And I wonder too, was that modeled for you, that intentionality?
In my own childhood, I'm not sure if it was like, I'm not, and nothing to discredit my own mom, but I'm not sure if my mom probably had time to
Mm-hmm.
look up and be like, what are the top 10 things. And there was also no Google around, so she couldn't, if I didn't have Google, my daughter would be at the house every day
Right.
watching cartoons, like she would, or mopping the floors or something. But it's intentional, but I think it's easier now to like find things to do or find other moms, and you just go out and you do it. But it is, I am purposeful about my children's childhood. Like, I want to make sure
Mm.
that they experience joy in their childhood. Every day is not going to be the best day, but I want to try to do the best I can to make sure that they have somewhat of a happy life.
That's good. So I like to jump into your joy journey, and I'm gonna start a little earlier than I have most, and hear about what young Nell was like growing up. Were you naturally outgoing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think what happened was I grew up in Detroit, and whatever you could think of, not like the BMF version, but it was just a really nice community. So there were people all around me. I was centered in a village. I was around people who loved me, like cousins and friends and stuff like that. And everybody kind of lived their own life. Everybody was happy. And that's pretty much what my childhood was like. I'm not gonna say it's utopia,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that my parents did a really good job of surrounding me around people who were just living and happy to live. And I'm like really proud of them for doing that for me. But I've always been in a space where I could talk to other people or play with other kids, and there weren't people telling me that I shouldn't act a certain way or I shouldn't do certain things. um, if anything, people were always, when I was a kid, people were like, no, go ahead and do it. Be free. Just don't hurt yourself. But when I got older, that's when I moved to
Okay.
Memphis. When I lived I started off living in a rural community in Tennessee. And right there, keep that in your mind. Keep that in your mind. So you go from like almost this utopian black society of Detroit, and then you move to the rural south, if
Mm-hmm.
you will. And I was going to school with kids that like didn't have shoes on their feet. Like, the principal would always have to make an announcement to say like, make sure you have shoes on your feet. And I was sitting up here like, what is that? Or like, there were
Wow.
cows across the street from my house, and it was just like, it was just a whole different atmosphere for me. And I think that's the part where I didn't necessarily lose joy, but it definitely got restructured. So what
Mm.
my thing was, I was like, all right, whatever little happy feeling that I have or that I had when I was in Detroit, I'm going to have to keep that inside of me and mimic that happiness for this very different, y'all, just the nice
Mm-hmm.
word for me is different, very different scenario, because this is not anything that I'm used to. It's not anything that I want to continue on long term. I was very honest with my parents, like, hated it. I did not
this
like
this
it.
not it.
Yeah, this is not it. Get me out of here. And they did eventually, because I mean, like with the rural South comes the rural South. I think
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm talking about. And but one thing that I learned is that the little piece of joy that I did have, I needed to hold on to it and keep it with me. And I think that's what taught me in that situation was, regardless of where I am in life, there's going to be that little something, much like that little cake in
Yeah.
the oven. Like, I may not be able to pull it out just yet, but I have to hold on to something, because I know that there is going to be a brighter side at the end of the day.
And so I wonder, were you encouraged ever to be active in the arts or theater, dance, or music?
I don't think anybody ever said go do theater or like, and I've never done it. I went to a creative arts high school in Memphis, and I tried to do the program, but you have to be a triple threat, and that just, I can't sing, nor am I really that good of a dancer. I could read words, and I thought,
Not read what I can read.
I was like, so what do I have to do? I just need to read some words, then I can be in your acting program. And they were like, no. And I was like, okay, so acting probably won't be for me. But I was able to find other outlets. So, like I can write, and I can talk to people, so I think I was good with that part.
Okay. And so, growing up, do you remember what career you dreamed of having?
Yeah. Oh, totally. This woman came to my elementary school. She was a reporter, and she had just got done interviewing Michael Jackson.
Oh.
And I was like, okay. I was like, cool. So I'm probably going to be a reporter, or I was going to be on the radio. I was like, I need to do something, not necessarily in entertainment, but I need to do something where, I could work with people on TV, or I could work with people that write in newspapers. I knew I wanted to be somewhere in that realm, but it was just her coming to talk about, I think I was like 10. And she was like, yeah, I was with Michael Jackson the other day. And I was like, are you kidding me? I'm ready to go work now. So that's what happened.
That was
Literally,
it.
oh, that was it.
It's like, all right, Michael Jackson, check.
Yeah.
What exactly do you do? All right. Okay. Let me
Yep,
just
that's
write
it.
down
Yep, Michael
everything.
Jackson. And
That was
then
it.
too, I grew much like you grew up in Chicago. I grew up in Detroit. You had like really strong on-air radio
Mm-hmm.
personalities, so they made their job seem so cool. And you could like even remember the little song
Yeah.
hooks from the morning, or even the morning songs that they would play. So it was just like I grew up with like those kind of images, and yeah, why not? So
Why not?
yeah.
Wow. And so that speaks to how important career days
Oh,
are
totally, totally.
in giving back and going and showing, especially black kids, that there are people that look like you doing the
Mhm.
things beyond teachers, doctors, lawyers. There are other careers that are just as exciting and profitable,
Mhm. Mhm.
that are available.
Oh, totally.
When you saw that teacher, or you saw the news reporter come into your classroom, and you were like, all right, Michael Jackson, check, yes, this. But now that you've been in the field for over a decade
Mhm.
now, what about it feels most like you?
I think the part that feels most like me now, and my career has changed so many times with it still within marketing or communications. I think the part that feels like me now is that I'm finally at a place where I can say no to things. And I know that sounds weird to be like, I'm at a place where I can say, I don't want to do this anymore. But it's cool because I don't have to take every opportunity. When I was younger, I would work for free. I would work from 2 a.m. to 2 p.m., and not really understanding the fact of my own worth, or not understanding how to speak up for myself, or just again that whole pushback of saying no, or analyzing opportunities. Like I don't have to do something just because somebody said for me to do it. I can
Mm-hmm.
challenge certain things and have an educated conversation about exactly why I'm not going to do something,
Yeah.
and I'm okay with that. Like I don't lose any sleep for just saying that's not for me, not at all. So
Having such an outgoing and bubbling personality, have you ever felt that you needed to shrink in the workplace from being your authentic self?
sometimes, so I work in oil and gas, and thankfully I work for an organization that does encourage people to be their authentic self, but I am not my authentic self all the time. Like I think that there is, I think I probably microdose on some people. Like I'm only giving you 5 milligrams of me right now. I'm not giving you the full dose. And I also think that it's appropriate, to read the room. Like a lot of times, like I like to laugh and have fun. A lot of times I'm not working in a laugh to have fun environment. I can smile at people and ask them how their day was. And if I can get in a few giggles from there, I will. But it's not necessarily a must, for me to go in certain rooms and maximize my personality.
You have been described as having an infectious spirit of excitement and such an innately humorous personality that she takes the boredom out of any situation. Why do you believe that you take life and make life at its fullness?
Girl, who are writing these descriptions? I'm sitting up here like, who said that? No, but yeah. I mean, I'm real honest with people when I tell them like it can either be within the first 5 minutes or the first 5 days of meeting me. I'm gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
But I also know time and place. So, I may kind of shutter myself or kind of be closed in for some opportunities. You know what I mean? Like if I'm just starting out somewhere, I'm not going to be full on, but I definitely try to make sure that at some point I am able to, give people full dose. But back to your question about how to I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on the description. You want to know like how do I
Listen, I didn't even come up with this. This is literally the quote.
Oh wow. Okay. So how do I do that whole like infectious thing?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I think other people want to have a good time too. So maybe that's why they want to roll off. But I mean, I don't know, man. I think that it's just if people find this infectious, then okay, but I'm really having a good time for myself. Like this is every day I wake up, I'm like, this is a nail party. It's not like I'm not being selfish or whatever, but I'm gonna do things that make me happy first. And if you want to be a passenger or if you want to get in this, 2006 Nissan Altima,
But why is that your car?
because everybody has fun in a Nissan Altima. I like
But
you
why
can
2006?
because those were the good nail years. But no, I'm just saying like that's kind of what it is. It's like I'm always trying to have a good time, and I'm not trying to like go to a bar or whatever. I'm just always trying to like enjoy myself, even if it's in like a little small way. And I'm not like trying to. I just want to be happy for myself.
Yeah.
That's it. And I'm probably a lot of people aren't like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
And what advice would you have for folks that are curious about getting out of their shell? Like they see your bubbly personality and they're like, oh, I want to, I want a little bit more of that.
mm-hmm.
What advice do you think you would give to someone?
I don't know. I mean, I always kind of say like, if there's a part of you that's innately you got to be yourself, right? Like I wouldn't dare give anybody advice to be like, "Oh, you want to be more outgoing? Let me tell you what to do." Because I feel like what I have learned is there is a certain comfort level with myself that I have. So, I'm comfortable talking to strangers. I'm comfortable being in situations where, I'm with people that I don't know. I may tell, hey, just go out and do that, but they may have an anxiety attack, or I don't know what other kind of stressors are preventing them.
Right.
So I always use that as a caution point. But then secondly, I think that, and not just like myself, because I'm sure there are other people that have bubbly personalities. If that is something that they truly want to try to do, then it may just be a situation where you can connect with people that may have more of an outgoing personality. And what I have found is, it happens all the time. I can just be minding my business, and people do come up and talk to me, and I end up talking back to them, and I'm like, whoa, it's been 4 hours. So maybe that's the situation, just kind of be around people who do have more of a bubblier personality. But at the end of the day, you always have to stay in your lane, like swim in your lane, stay there first and figure out why,
Mm-hmm.
your personality is the way it is.
So, what of your personality do you think your children will pick up?
So my two kids, my daughter probably has the very serious side of me, ironically. Like I do think that there is a side of me that's very serious and very to the point and structured. And like even though my daughter's extremely fun, she's very much to the point where she's just like, look, this is what I want and this is how it's going to be, and I don't want to, I don't do whatever I didn't say. And deep down inside, that's kind of how I am. People just don't know that. And then my son, who's like 1, he's super chill. Like, again, he's just really nice and kind to be around, doesn't cry that much, really considerate. So like when he does certain things, he looks at you for approval and, checks the situations out. And he's super considerate, he's super sweet, and he's just like I like the side of me that I don't necessarily show people in my daughter, but I think the side of me that my son has is probably the more of my outer ways,
I definitely know that to be true. You go out of your way to make people feel special and seen. And I hope, I wish that more people had that innately. Like, oh, I see you. You're welcome here. Because I want you to know how much I have appreciated.
Oh, thank
that
you.
from
That's
you
so
personally.
special. Thank you.
Because as an adult, making friends is difficult.
It's ghetto. It's ghetto.
Difficult. And so when you form a connection with someone and they see you, and they take a genuine interest, and you know how busy their life is, because like you got a lot going on, and you still stop and go, hey, no, but how are you? I want you to know it is so appreciated.
Oh, thank you.
So appreciated.
Thank you.
So the final segment is the journey ahead. So as you are considering and thinking about kind of scoping the landscape for your family, for your career, would you dare share your hope for the Reed family, or Nell herself personally, for the next 5 years?
So, to be completely honest with you, I am real cool saying I don't know. Like, I'm real cool saying I don't know. And there is a part of me, and I'm really excited about this part. There is a part of me that's in wonder mode. So I have like my hands in a few different things right now. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know where it's gonna how it's gonna pop off. I don't know how the book's gonna be completed, and I'm okay with that. Younger me would have been like, "Oh, girl, you gotta have point A, point B, or whatever," and I just am okay with that. And I think at some point, I've also redefined what my idea of success was. So when I was younger, I was like, oh, you have to have a big fancy title, big fancy office, and all the things that, come with that. I don't know, those Gabrielle Union movies where you see this attractive black woman
in the power suit.
Yeah, I'm girl, I mean, it may be me, but I understand what it may take for certain people to get to that level, and I don't want those kind of sacrifices. Like, I don't want to sacrifice time with my kids. I don't want to sacrifice time with my husband, because it's like I may try to do all those things to reach this certain level of success and totally miss like this whole successful, like I think that there is success in having a good relationship. I think that there is success in having healthy children that love you, and you kind of communicate with that. If anything, if I had a wish for 5 years, it would really be just kind of having more of that, like more time with my husband, more time with my or more time with my kids, more time with friends and my mom and my sister and my dad. Like, I just want to have more time with them. And I know that's not like the whatever, a LinkedIn answer, but that's what works for me. And I feel like once I got off the path of, fighting to be this quote unquote successful black woman, the success actually came. Like, the money actually came, because it was like I wasn't fighting against life. Like, like when you swim, I was just rolling with the water. I wasn't doing anything. I was just floating. But it's just something that happened along that time when I let that, and that's the thing. Like, I let it go, but I think I may have just let go of the fight to be this person that God probably in the background was like, just stop moving your arms so much. I have control. Like, please just chill. I'm going to push you in the direction, but you don't have to fight. You don't have to be so stressed out about it. Like you're gonna go or you're supposed to go, but just take in with the water.
I think that also speaks to the freedom and really living the fullness of life every moment as they come,
Hmm.
instead of trying to force this situation to become the next situation. No, and it's kind of like you said, with your children and them experiencing joy every weekend. We too are God's children, right? So
Hmm.
experiencing the joy in today,
Hmm.
the joy in the career as it is right now. If this is as good as it good,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
this is good.
Yeah. Seriously.
I also have my family.
Exactly. Because I mean, you can always get another job, right? I know that sounds cliche, but you could get another job. But nobody's going to be like, oh, here is a replacement of the child that you have ignored for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't happen that way. So you kind of have to restructure your thinking into being like, you have priorities obviously, but what's a priority that you can't get back? I can get another job over and over again. I can join other organizations over and over again. Sometimes I can make new friends, over and over again. But it's like certain things I can't sacrifice because I don't have anything. I'm never going to be able to replace that,
Yeah.
So
Or get that time back.
I won't be able to.
That's so good. So good. Thank you so much.
Of
Thank
course.
you, thank you, thank you. So, if anybody wanted to reach out to you and get career advice or life advice, mommy advice, how could they reach you?
I'm pretty open on I can give out my Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay. At gotta nail this. So it's like gotta NELL this. I don't really answer phone calls. So if you I don't answer phones. I'm a texter, but if you DM me, I will DM you right back. So that's it.
Very good. No, that's something we also have in
Yeah,
common.
don't call
Don't
me.
call me. Text me, and even
Yes.
then, I'm gonna get to it. Just don't not immediate. I'm working on it. That's my to do list. It's on there. But please be sure to drop in the comments your greatest takeaway from this episode, and let us know if you are also redefining what success looks like in this season of your life. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. This podcast can be found on every podcast platform, including YouTube, and I can't wait to connect and hear from you soon. So, till we gather again every single Thursday, may God increase your joy, grant you strength for the journey, and give you the courage to tell your story. Bye, friends.